Yeah, it's time now for the Brooks Breakdown, but we're going to switch it up a little bit today because today's breakdown is a story of true selflessness and personal sacrifice. Ryan Frederickson, whom you've seen there on your screen, is a retired Army Green Beret with 8 combat deployments in Afghanistan. Well, during that first deployment, Frederickson stepped on an IED, nearly taking his life. But as a warrior does, he battled back, returning for 7 more stints, fighting for our freedoms here in the United States. A hero? I would say so. But that wasn't enough for him. His instinctual need to defend others kicked back in, luring him to Ukraine after Russia's invasion. Well, now Ryan is running a nonprofit helping save innocent Ukrainian lives, using his experience from the Middle East to defuse landmines dropped into Ukrainian farmland and other places. Those are some of the ones he's been able to recover and retrieve. The mines there are taking a massive toll on the civilians. Injuries, there's deaths, also costing Ukraine's farming industry billions of dollars in crucial exports. So joining us in studio now is Ryan Frederickson himself. He's the founder of that nonprofit, Tip of the Spear, Landmine Removal. Katrina also joining us here on set. Ryan, thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
So, awesome. Yeah, bring us up to speed on, we talked about a little bit about it last night, how it all came to be, you getting to Ukraine, the Afghanistan withdrawal, and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so 2021, U.S. forces leave Afghanistan. I left about a month before the full withdrawal. And when I got home, I just remember this, just some dark times, this sense of what was it about, what was it for, and not having a purpose. And then, fast forward to February 2022, just like many people were, I was watching the TV screen and watching the events unfold of the full-scale invasion. And I just kept having this nagging feeling, is there something I can do? Is there some way that I can help? Well, as a Green Beret, the motto that we live and we die by is De Oppressor Liber, to free the oppressed. And so that nagging feeling that I had inside, it was something that was ingrained in me as a Green Beret, to free the oppressed. I wanted to go over and I wanted to help in anything. So eventually I went over in the middle of March of 22 and started helping evacuate women and children, civilians, from the areas that the Russians were moving into. And then as the Russians started to move east, I would say about April, May timeframe, Ukrainians started to come back to their homes and they started hitting these landmines and the booby traps that were left behind. Wow. And so that's when it turned into, well, I have experience with this in Afghanistan, so how can I help now? And that's what led to what we do today, and it's training, advising, and assisting Ukrainian sappers, force multiplying, equipping them, going out to the minefields and trying to make these areas safe again for the civilian population, because nobody should have to live in fear of their next step.
So we're looking at a picture of you there. So what we're really talking about is these fields. This is Ukrainian farmland,
yes,
where civilians truly get their food, get their livelihood. So we're talking about families and kids here who are threatened by these landmines that they were dropped there by the Russians. Kind of explain what types of fields we're talking about, where they are, and how you find them.
So with if you're thinking about a farm field, and then we're talking about hundreds of hectares per field. And if it can hold a combine tractor, something that you're going to use for hay or wheat or grain or something like that, then it can also hold a mechanized tank or mechanized unit, so tanks, Bradleys, whatever it's going to be. So farm fields are high avenues of approach, and so if I can mine these farm fields and I can keep you onto the roads where our artillery pieces are already dialed into, they're called target reference points, then I can hit you with our artillery. And that's one of the ways of kind of equaling out things is you can't use the farm fields because they're mined. Well, the second and the third order of effects of that is the farmers suffer. And when the Ukrainian farmer suffers, then the countries that depend on those agricultural exports, then they suffer as well. And that's what's going on right now.
And Ryan, these mines, they're all over the place.
Yes.
Like Ukraine's industry is farming, and they will be there for years unless someone like you trains other people to go in there and get them out. If not, each and every year there'll be tragedy.
Yes, and there's tragedy every single day. There's farmers that are taking it on themselves to clear their own fields because there's just not enough deminers in the country right now. You're looking at a country that's at war, and they're also trying to demine so they can get back to their agricultural, ways as Ukraine is. And you're having farmers that are taking it on themselves. Either they're doing makeshift stuff with their tractors or combines or whatnot, and the civilian casualty rate because of the landmine crisis in Ukraine is high. It's extremely high.
And those landmines, how long can they last? I mean, we're talking decades?
Forever. Here's the thing with landmines. Landmines, they don't have, there's no politics behind landmines. There's no religion. There's no sex. There's no gender, nothing like that. Landmines are indiscriminate killers, and they're going to continue to kill long after that last shot is fired and long after their intended purpose is up, and that could be over 100 years.
Wow.
Ryan, tell us about the nonprofit, how people can donate, get involved. You train other veterans like yourself just as well, and I know it's helped them greatly too.
Yeah, tip of the spear, landmine removal. Our website is landmineremoval.org, and we're veteran owned and operated, and we, as U.S. veterans, we go over to Ukraine and we partner up with Ukrainian veterans, those that have been wounded in defense of their country. And then we're giving them another sense of service again, to where now they're demining again. They can no longer serve in a military capacity, but they're continuing to serve their country, demining, removing these landmines. And so it's U.S. veterans assisting Ukrainian veterans for a mine-free Ukraine.
Wow. Again, with all the horrible news and the terror and tragedy of war, what you're doing and the heart of gold that you clearly have, and all of those who are working with you, is really, really inspiring. Thanks for your service. Thanks for your hard work. Ryan Frederickson, tip of the spear. Really impressive. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, thank you so much. And again, I second what Katrina said. Thank you so much for your service to our country.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.